Have you ever had the feeling of arriving in a new place but you don't know what to do? You have no idea where to go? Do you go crazy for all the opportunities around you? Well, prepare all your senses, because I'm going to take you on a different tour where you will be able to keep the memory of what you experienced. The city of Quito is the only metropolitan district of Ecuador and is known for being a cultural heritage and colonial wonder. It is located at the foot of the Pichincha volcano at more than 2,000 meters above the sea level. So its historic center is the best preserved colonial place in Latin America. So it is one of the most recognized places worldwide, not only for its architectural beauty, but also for its culture. The first impression is the view of the volcanoes that are around the city, such as Pichincha, Antisana, Cayamba, and others. In a special way, the Cotopaxi is the highest active volcano in the world with 5,897 meters above sea level and its perfect conical silhouette that attracts the gaze immediately. But if you want to be surprised with a splendid view of the whole city and the volcanoes, you should take the cable car of the city and climb to the more than 4,000 meters high and see in 360 degrees the whole extension of Quito. Being Quito located in the middle of the world, 30 kilometers from the city, is the emblematic monument to the middle of the world, which is one of the cities you will not want to miss visiting. Here, you will have the unique possibility of putting one foot in the northern hemisphere and the other one in the southern hemisphere. Continuing our tour, we will go to the historic center and see the colonial style in which it is built. The historic center is full of steep slopes, and if you walk through this altitude, it will play a trick on you. The Plaza Grande or Plaza de la Independencia, surrounded by the Carondelet Palace, the municipality, the Archbishop's Palace, and the cathedral, is an urban style very typical of the colonial era. As well, its narrow streets with colorful houses with wooden balconies and decorated with flowers. Let's delight our sense of sight with a visit to one of the most beautiful churches in all South America, La Compañía de Jesús. One way to impress our sense of sight is the gold bread covering on the main altar. Colonial era paintings of heaven and hell are part of this impressive church. As you walk up the stairs behind the main altar, you will come to the domes of the church. From there you will be able to see the small squares and the other churches that are around, such as the Church of San Francisco. From downtown about 9 kilometers you will find the Panecillo. This is a natural elevation of 3,000 meters above sea level, which is the most visited tourist site since that place has become a natural viewpoint from which you can see the whole city. In the middle of El Panecillo there is a giant aluminum sculpture of the Virgin of Quito, inspired by the work of Bernardo Legarda. In the northern part of the city of the Quito is the Carolina Park, which will be your central park if you want. It's in the financial and business area of the city and is one of the most important recreational areas of the metropolitan area of Quito. When we enter the church, you will be able to perceive a very characteristic smell, incense and light candles. Perceiving the smell of incense or hearing the wooden floor cracking is an experience that transports you to the past. Quito is flooded with smells, particularly in December and Holy Week. Incense and lemon vitae. In the ceremonies of December and especially in Holy Week, these two products are used a lot since the incense is a sign of adoration and praise to God and even used as purification. These aromas are spread through the historic center, can be perceived in the corners of churches and convents where merchants continue with their eagerness to sell lemon vitae. If you take a walk through the historic center, you can also perceive aromas of spices, sweets, chocolate and flowers. Attracted by the smell and enter a coffee shop to taste one of these sweets, you are enveloped by the penetrating smell of coffee prepared with the secrets of many years. In these coffee shops the senses are in control, especially the sense of smell, which is fascinated by cinnamon, cumin, chocolate and mint. Nothing better to stimulate our sense of touch than going to one of the many stores that we will find in downtown. Quito offers a variety of handicrafts that are unique in the world, worked with elements such as wool, alpaca, clay, wood, and precious metals such as silver and gold. You can find necklaces, earrings, ponchos, shawls, scarves, tapestries, embroidered tablecloths, and ceramics. Here you will find our hand-embroidered masks so useful in this time of pandemic. But all of that handicrafts, one stands out, that is the famous hats of straw toquilla, wrongly called Panama hat, as it is made from braided levels of palm tree. It is a product in demand for its exquisite craftsmanship, being the most representative product of Ecuadorian handicrafts. To buy a good taquilla straw hat, you must learn how to touch it. You will be able to feel through your hands. The finer the texture of the hat, the better quality it has. On the contrary, if the texture is thick, the work is not on very good quality. Surely you have remembered from one of your trips something like, how delicious was that food in that restaurant in Tatata. A good gastronomic experience is not easily forgotten, and in Quito you will be able to surprise your palate. Ecuadorian food is also known with the country as typical food. They offer ranges from fried food to wraps such as tamales, humitas, and quimbolitos. We can start with some morocho empanadas along with a rich frittata that will be a true delight for our palates. If we are talking about dessert, you must try one of our chocolate-based desserts or simply savor a delicious chocolate bar. Ecuadorian chocolate, whose base is cocoa, which until the 19th century almost all the cocoa produced was exported to produce the finest chocolates in the world, but currently has emerged an important Ecuadorian chocolate industry. Finally, put a good Ecuadorian coffee in your mouth. Ecuador is one of the few countries in the world that exports all varieties of coffee. Ecuador produces one of the best coffees in South America. To walk along the street La Ronda, where the natives live in the key to sound and trills that will make you enjoy a variety of music. La Ronda continues to be a place for bohemians and artists who have a place here to evoke poetry, music, and culture. You can find restaurants that offer typical dishes and live music. At the end of this trip, if you close your eyes, could you remember a place you were impressed to see? And that aroma you can't forget? And what about those flavors of a different and special meal? I hope you have enjoyed this tour and that you can enjoy not only the city of Quito, but also the Ecuadorian essence. Goodbye!